All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 1057 on this beautiful Wednesday evening. It is going to be a content night. I know I said wild card because I didn't know last night, but we usually do like a wild card Wednesday. We leave it open for anything. Could be techniques, could be quizzing, it could be studying stuff, it could be all kinds of different things that we could include on this free Wednesday. But tonight we are going to do content. We're going to talk about what it is this time of year. It is the season. What season is this, may you ask? Are we talking about the season of love because it's February? No. Are we talking about the season of spring training because baseball's coming? No. Are we talking about NBA finals are on the rise? March Madness is coming? No. No and no. It is the season of the taxes. It is tax season. It is everybody's favorite. Taxes. Taxes. Talking about taxes. Taxes is heavily incorporated in everything you do in this studying. It is incorporated in your life. It's incorporated in everything, right? We can't get away from taxes. It was once said, nothing for sure in this life except death and taxes. So tonight we're going to cover taxes. Brandy's going to make it easy. She's going to make it painless. She's going to make it fun. All those things, the taxes we don't normally associate with it, right? We don't ever associate any of that with taxes. But today we're going to flip the script. We are. Who are these people? Why are they talking about taxes? Why are they already getting me in a bad mood? Well, my name is Andy. I am the guy that runs the back office over here at KonaButterflyz. But you are not here for me. You're here for Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know so that way you too can get a pass notice. And before we get started, I always like to give a little chat, a little PMA, a little positive mental attitude, if you will. Some people probably wish I would just shut up and Brandy get going with the taxes because that's what we're here for. We just want the content. Guys, I'm telling you right now, your mental is the most important thing that you can hold on to when you take these exams. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
I will say this, people ask me, what do you think people struggle the most when studying these exams? We get asked this all the time. They're like, you help people all the time. What section, what area, what part do you think that people have the hardest time with? Is it unit 1? Because they'll talk to me like we do cap,
Right.
like we do cap.
Like
we don't even.
chapters.
I'm like, I don't know what unit 1 is. If you paid me to know what unit 1 was,
Depends on what version.
what version, what book are you talking about? I have no clue. So that's not it. Is it have to do with taxes? No. Does it have to do with mutual funds? No. Oh, I know what it is. It's options.
Always.
Options. It has to be options, buying and selling. No, that's not it at all. Well, then what is it? Is it taking the exam? No. And they're like, okay, I give up. What's the hardest part? What's the hardest part, Brandy?
Your mindset, your attitude.
Your attitude, your mindset. Honestly, more people fail this exam on the way to the test center than they actually do when they get there. More people lose confidence during the process, in the process, while on the way to the test center, while just all of it. And it has nothing to do with them being adults. It has everything to do with two things. Two things. One is the baggage you carry from your early years. Maybe you weren't the best student. Maybe you didn't know that you had some ADD issues. Maybe your parents didn't set you up for the best when it came to schooling. Whether it's the fact that they doped you out, like when we were kids, our parents would give us, basically a Coca-Cola and a Pop-Tart and say, go to school. That's not the best diet to go to school with. You know what I mean? You're crashing out in the middle of your first period and then you got F's, right? But we didn't know that. That's the time we grew up in. I know there's some kids on here that are like born in the 2000s and they're like, oh my God, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
We were given poison and then we were told to go to school with no helmet on our bicycle. But that was a different time, different generation, right? But a lot of this stuff that we learned, or what happens is we were taking those tests, we didn't do so well. Someone told us, maybe a misguided guidance counselor tells you that you're not worthy or you're not going to be something because their handbook says that you're not or the test score says that you're not. It's not the American way, to be honest with you, right? We all grew up in the United States. You know, I'm assuming most of us all grew up in the United States here. Maybe some people are immigrants, but we all come to this great country or grew up in this great country for one way or another, because this country allows you to be whoever you want if you want to be that. That's how we grew up learning. That's what the promises of the United States. That's why we love this country so much. Is we do have the prom. We don't have, you know, we're not what do I want to say, we're not anchored to any profession or anything because of where we, our status, our family status. We're not you know, destined to be you know, something in society just because of where we come from. We can all be anything we want and we can achieve anything we want, right? But somewhere in there it gets all crossed up. So we have that. And then the other thing that we have is some of us have this huge ego. We have a super big ego. We love winning all the time. I'm not going to hate on it, but you know, we associate everything with winning. We got to have the medals. We got to be first place. We got to always pass these exams on the first go. You know, we're comparing ourselves all the time. Maybe your sister was better than you. Maybe your brother was better than you. Maybe the neighbor's kid was better. It doesn't matter. It's a very ego driven thing. And what happens is, and this happens all the time to adults all the time, this is one of the main problems with most of you, one of you, all of you, is that one, you guys are all amazing people. I just want to say that you're all amazing. You're all driven to do better. That's why you're on this thing. If you're on live at 10 o'clock at night, because you want to win so bad, you'll do anything, right? But that can also be a double-edged sword. And what happens is if you don't get the score you think you should be getting, or you didn't pass, your ego gets shot hard, because everything you associate with your personality and where you should be in life is everything tied up in that ego of yours. And if it, God forbid, you get a bad score, God forbid you see a loss or a fail, it's just like, well, I'm just done. I can't win right off the bat. I'm done. This isn't for me. And it starts playing on it so hard. Just right before we got on, Brandy just got this brand new book, and I'm going to leave you with this. And I was just reading it a little bit right now before we got on. It's called Inner Excellence. It's by Jim Murphy. One of the reasons I think Brandy picked this up is because there's a wide receiver for the Eagles.
Yes.
His name is AJ Brown.
Yes.
He was literally reading this book in between plays on the sideline during the Super Bowl. Like, he would go out and he would start reading this book and then he'd go back out again. So Brandy was like intrigued, picked it up, and I was perusing, and I'm just going to read you an excerpt here on page 31. And I thought this is perfect because we do have people who take this exam, and sometimes people don't get exactly the scores they want. And I'm going to say this right here. So this guy, he was saying that Dean Smith, who coached Michael Jordan at North Carolina, said, "It's an absolute necessity for a leader to be able to handle losing. The bigger a person's job, the more losses he or she will have, and the more costly they will be. The ego cannot handle losing because its identity is totally based on outcomes, and losing is a direct blow to the validation it seeks. The ego's attachment to the outcome rather than staying in the present ignites the process of doubt and fear." A lot of us, that is real. That is real. That's where we get our doubt. That's where we get our fear, because that ego gets shot and we just feel like, what are we? And it's hard to recover from it. And then we start questioning everything. And guys, as we go through this process, and as you are learning tonight, this complicated but not complicated topic, and some of you might hear some of the stuff that Brandy's going to be talking about, or maybe you're studying on your own, or maybe, you know, whatever you're doing, and it's not clicking, and you're feeling that fear and doubt, just remember that's just part of the process. You got to turn that ego part off, and you just got to go, you know what? The losses, me not understanding this growing period, it's all part of the winning. You cannot win. You cannot be a leader without all the losses. You are in it. You are getting prepared. So you have to step aside with all of that, and you have to just step forward and say, you know what? This is part of the process. Don't step back. Don't be fearful. Don't have doubt. Have faith. And a lot of you have faith in your in your religion or your beliefs, spiritual beliefs. And that's what faith's all about. That's what faith is all about. Not to doubt, right? You hold tight onto that faith. Even when everything's going wrong and it seems like everything is circling the proverbial drain, you hold on to your faith. It's going to be okay. I just need to stay the course. I just need to keep the faith that it's going to be good, that this is all part of the process. This is all part of what I'm being shaped into. And that applies to studying. That applies to this process. You cannot back down. You cannot lose the faith in yourself. You need to keep the belief that you can do this. You need to keep the faith. If you are a spiritual person, keep that faith also in that, and just press forward. Press forward. Press forward. So what if Bill in the office knocked it out in a week and is 10 times smarter than you? That has nothing to do with you. Bill probably can't talk to people. Bill probably can't close like you can. Everybody has their own cross to bear. Everybody has their own yoke, as they say, right? Everybody has something. But what are you going to do with that challenge, and how are you going to overcome it? Let me tell you guys see Brandy today. You all are going, oh, wow, she's so smart. I wish she could take the exam for me. I'm going to say 99.9% of all of you have thought that in your head. I wish you could just go take the exam. I wish I could pay X amount of money. Brandy takes the exam for me, and there we go. Right? We all want that. But here's the thing, and I want you all to know this. Brandy was just like all of you. ADHD. I wish I could tell you all the things that she was told about how unintelligent she was, but there's actually like a lot of stuff about, anyways, there's a lot of growing up. Nobody thought that Brandy could pay attention if you paid her a lot of money. She was very, very hyper energetic, but she's brilliant. And when she was studying for all this stuff, and she would cry and she would throw the book and she would be upset, just like you. None of it would make sense. She would doubt she could do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lots of curse words, lots of, throwing of markers. And that's a lot for Brandy. She's not that kind of a person. But let me tell you this. Taxes, the topic of taxes made her throw the marker many a times.
I quit.
I mean, literally, she quit taxes for about
a month.
A month. She just said, if I hear taxes, I'm just going to kill someone. And I was like, please don't kill anybody. So she literally took a month away from taxes, learned other stuff, and then came back to it. And guess what? She got it. But that's not the person that you see today. But if she would have given up, if she would have gave into that fear, the doubt, and all that stuff, she would not be in front of you. She would not have been able to help others pass their exams. She would not written these books. She would not be the person that you have seen and helped, and all the people that she's helped not only change their direction in their personal or career, but also in their personal lives, as far as helping them protect their families and communities. It's a ripple effect of having faith and belief in herself to pass all these exams, and to feed that ripple effect and move it to other people to have a change. You also have that opportunity and challenge and chance to do the same exact thing. You may not be a teacher like Brandy, but your circle of influence will grow. Your circle will be better for it. And everyone around you is going to be affected by how you have handled yourself through this process in getting securities licensed, if you can stay the course. And if you don't have that course, if you are getting lost in the weeds, if you are getting tired of all the units and sections and blah, blah, blahs, and you're feeling like none of this stuff is in your language, that's when you join up with Kona. If you have not already, you need to. And if you joined up and you're not doing our content, you need to do the dang content. You need to see how she explains it. You need to see how she goes over it. It is in plain English language. It is positive mental attitude. It is how to pass these exams, and we got it all there for you. So scan the QR code and hit the links, and let's go. Course videos happen. Course starts whenever you want to, whenever you need to have it happen. Live exam sessions. Brandy's literally walking with you hand in hand through quizzes, showing you how to break them down in those sessions. We have that. Books are for sale, SIE 6 and 63. We've got the Kona 6 Discord coming out. The 65, Brandy is literally putting on the final touches. We're so close to it that I'm even getting involved in making some of the graphics. So that's how dang close we are. All that stuff we have available. Contact us at 951-290-3077. Give a call, give a text. Email at KonaButterflyz@gmail.com. Also, check out our Instagram. All right. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, just a quick notes. SIE will be here. 65 will be here. Study hall might get cut short, but we will be here. Small group tutoring, not happening tomorrow, but we didn't have that available for anyone, so no one's registered for it anyway.
Correct.
But we will, that is what we're having tomorrow. So make sure that you got that email, make sure that you check it out, got the access, the schedule, all that great stuff, and what Brandy is going over. So make sure to look at those emails. I send them out earlier the day before, just so you guys can prepare for what's going to happen that day. So make sure to look at it, look at the topics, get the times, get the schedule, all that great stuff is in there. Audios are also found on Spotify. Let's go, Brandy. Let's get on to the topic.
Let's do it. Taxes.
Anyways, I can't wait to read the rest of that book. But I love that about fear.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so true.
Yep.
We take it so personal if we get a loss, like as if it's not part of the program.
Yep.
Like I'm supposed to win every time.
Why? Why do we put that pressure on ourselves?
I don't know.
Even in our quizzes, we put that pressure on ourselves. Stop. Okay, anyways. Yeah. So we're gonna do taxes. And the reason why is because, you know, I do this little session from time to time because we hear tax-free, tax exempt, we hear tax deferred. What does that mean? Da 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 da. So these are terms that you guys are gonna hear all the time, every exam. And then you are also going to hear this, obviously, when you guys are in the field. Now, here's the thing. Common thing. Sometimes, and it's not their job, your clients will blur that line between give me tax advice and help me come up with a plan for taxes or, you know, to help reduce taxes. There is nothing out there that will make you get rid of taxes completely, 100%. But there are certain investment strategies, different conversation, that you can help your client with to reduce their taxes, right? And if you ever get asked, well, how much am I going to pay? How much this, how much that, how much that? That's when you, as your registered rep, agent, investment advisor, representative, however you guys want to call yourselves, say, please consult your tax professional, because that is not me. Guys, that's a whole different set of courses. That's a whole different set of certifications. That's a whole different world. Okay. So we can only do surface level education when it comes to taxes. All right. I just want to say that. I just want to kind of throw that out there because I get asked tax advice and I'm like, I'm not a tax person. So we're going to start off with the big one first, and that is tax deferred. Tax deferred simply means taxed later. Okay. It just means taxed later. We are going to say it's going to be taxed on withdrawal. Now, sometimes you guys will see it as withdrawal. Sometimes you guys see it as distribution. Okay. That's what that means. Now, I have this little saying that we say in our classes where if it's tax deferred, that equals no capital gains. So if you are in a tax deferred account, most common, any retirement account, that means you're not going to see capital gains. You're only going to be taxed as ordinary income. No capital gains, ordinary income only. Guys, this saves you about 15 pages in any other LEM. Right there.
This is 15 pages of knowledge dropped on you right there.
Right there.
Right there. And if you're like, man, I wish you guys had this written in a book and written just like that, we do. It's already there.
Wow, dude.
Pop it open.
Yes.
By the way, do you know what it is in our study guide?
What?
What page?
No,
No.
no.
All right, sorry.
I'm sorry. I just
But it is written like that, and I would memorize that. Is that fair to say?
at 100%. You can literally, guys, if you're talking about annuities, if you're talking about IRAs, 401ks, whatever, and you have answer choices that say the word capital gain in it, you can literally cross off those answers. You can eliminate answers just based on it's an annuity. It'll be taxed as capital gain. Cross that off. You don't need that. See what I'm saying? No capital gains, ordinary income only. Which brings me to tax exempt. Now,
If I'm tax exempt,
mhm,
I'm exempt from paying taxes.
yes. So that means no income tax.
That doesn't mean I don't pay sales tax on things if they have a sales tax. That just means income tax I don't.
Right. So it means that you're not going to pay your income tax on any dividends or interest received.
There you go. More specific.
Yes. So this happens in municipal bonds and municipal bond funds.
And if you think about what municipal is, especially if you were on last night, we covered municipalities pretty heavily last night. What all the different municipalities are, right? It's local government. It's all the things that your community puts together and has, parks, whatever. You are loaning them money.
Right.
You're giving them money for all the municipalities around they need, right? All the stuff. Of course you shouldn't have to pay taxes on that, bro. I just gave you the money. Now you're going to tax me on it? No. No.
So
That's why.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you now in your head why? Maybe if that's why, then you remember it.
Exactly. And that's why these are federally tax exempt, which means if you received interest, you're invested in a municipal bond or municipal bond fund, you received interest or dividends, then guess what? That means you pay no tax on that dividend or interest, right? And you will have no state tax if you live in the same state.
Again, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense.
And like if you are sitting in California and you invest in a
municipal
bond in Arizona, yeah, I'm not giving you a break on
I'm
that.
going with Utah.
Or Utah.
Yeah. I want the people of Utah to have a new park.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm in California.
Yeah. So no, California is not going to give you a tax break because you invested in another state.
In fact, they get a little salty about it. They're like, no, you are paying taxes on it, fool. Why didn't you put money here?
Exactly. Now, this means though that you still pay capital gains. You still pay capital gains when you sell, liquidate, whatever. Okay. So you still pay capital gains. So they're not tax free. Now, a lot of your quiz questions will use the term tax free. It's tax free. It's not technically. Municipal bonds, municipal bond funds are not tax free. They're tax exempt. So kind of just ignore that if you guys see that. Okay. All right.
Well, do you know? I mean, of course, you don't know what's on the real exam. I just like to say that publicly in case FINRA or anybody's watching.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know what's on the exam.
Correct.
But
I do have experience taking tests.
Correct. It's fair to say that they won't.
They are okay. The test tells you exactly what you need to know to make the right answer.
There you go. That's what I was going to get at.
So if they want you, if they want you to pick something that's tax free, they will say tax free. If they want you to know it's tax exempt, it will say tax exempt. It will not use those terms interchangeably.
Does that make sense? Like they're not going to confuse you on that. It's going to be very deliberate on what exactly they're pointing at.
Very deliberate. Like that. I like that. Yes, very deliberate on what they tell you. Yeah. Okay. Then we come to tax free. Tax free.
Which is not the same as tax exempt.
No, this means zero taxes. This means no capital gains.
Yoo-hoo.
This means no income tax.
Yeah.
There's only two things. Well, there's more than two things. So let's talk about those things that are zero taxes, capital gains, no capital gains. That is the Roth IRA, probably one of the most popular. Now remember that the Roth IRA is tax-free after 59 and a half, and not or, and the account has been open for 5 years.
That means you got to be over the age of 59 and a half, and you have to have it for at least 5 years.
Yes.
So if I'm 58 and I've had the account for 7 years,
yes,
not.
that is not tax free.
Because I'm not 59 and a half.
Correct. Literally, guys, when my mom was still working, I had on the wrong month, I put my mom's birthday. It's not my mom's birthday. It's totally, oh, it's my mom's half birthday. You know what that meant? She turned 59 and a half. Guess what I did that night? I created an in-service distribution on her 401k.
Moving money.
Moving money. That's what I did. Now, oh, did you want to say something?
Moving money.
Yeah.
Do you know what was good? I'm going to say this, guys. This is where I was talking about earlier in center of influence and helping your family. Literally, I'm not even kidding. Less than a week where she had her money, there was tremendous loss. And she didn't suffer any of those losses because Brandy moved the money already.
Got it.
It was already gone.
Yep.
There you go.
Now, 529s, Coverdell's. Yeah. And Able accounts. These are also tax-free. And they say for qualifying distributions. That means if it's the right distribution, it will be tax-free as well. Just like the Roth IRA, this right here is what qualifies it for tax-free. Okay. For 529 plans and Coverdale's, these are education, not a car to go to your higher education.
Good try. Good try, though.
Yes.
Good try.
So this is for education.
We don't hate the hustle.
But that doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Top of the line computers doesn't work.
Oh, man. How am I supposed to get a Mac now?
Yep. And then Able accounts. This is for our folks that are on SSI or SSDI, which means that they have some sort of permanent disability. That's what it's called. That's what the federal government calls it, which means that if they have an onset of a challenge that prevents them from working and they're already collecting SSI or SSDI before the age of 26, you can in fact invest for them so that they have a nice little nest egg for future use. Because typically, guys, when you get money from the government, you can't invest because they say, this is to cover living expenses, not for you to save. So if you're saving, I'm giving you too much. But in the case of this particular situation, you're actually able to invest.
Yeah. And there is situations where people are saying, look, I am a parent of a child who has a disability. I would like to make sure that they have care for the rest of their lives, past me being alive. You can do that.
Exactly. Now, real quick, I just wanted to side note this idea of rollovers because these get very popular when somebody quits a job and they have an old 401k sitting at their previous job, right? And it is tax season and all that stuff, right? So a 401k is pre-tax money, right? We can all agree that that money was been contributed pre-tax.
Well, if you don't agree, it's because you don't know that it's pre-tax.
Right. It's pre-tax. Now I can roll that money into a traditional IRA. And guess what? It stays tax deferred.
Tax deferred.
That means
much like student loans that you have that you are not paying on yet. Because I ain't got no money.
Right.
Well, you could pay it later. Right. We'll defer it.
Now you can take that 401k and you can roll it into a Roth IRA. But what happens here now is that this is a taxable event. As what? Capital gain or ordinary income?
Ordinary income.
That's right. It's a taxable event because you can't take something pre-tax and make it something that's not taxed.
So literally there needs to be a bridge between 401k and a squiggly line over to that Roth that says taxed.
Yes, because Roths are only after tax contributions. So just a quick note about that. 'Cause somebody will say, well, my mom has 200,000 sitting in a 401k. Can I put it into a Roth? Ooh, 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 ooh. No, because that is ordinary income. If you have 200,000 in a 401k, you're probably in your 50s. That's a huge tax hit. It's ordinary income.
The way the government looks at it, if I'm not right or wrong, I don't know, you'll correct me, I'm sure, is if I do that,
Mhm.
it's basically saying I just added $200,000 to my income that year, and now I need to get taxed on that.
And that's usually a tax bracket or two.
That is usually most people's tax bracket or two. So if you're I'm just putting this out there as an example. So if you're making $40,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
you add 200,000 to that,
Mm-hmm.
you're now $240,000 for that year.
Right.
You are now jumping tax brackets and you are paying that extra tax on that.
Right.
Now, there are ways, but we're not talking about those ways tonight.
Now you can contribute to a traditional IRA for what is called a tax deduction. Basically, we're going to lower your taxes, but this is up to certain income limits. If you make 200,000 a year, probably not going to help income
Up to what does that say?
limits. I certain.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll rewrite it.
Ah,
Is that better?
yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people, they file your taxes. They'll say, hey, you owe $2,000 to the IRS. You qualify for a traditional IRA. Would you like to make a contribution there instead? And that's when they call you, ladies and gentlemen, because once you're licensed, I have a client, by the way, that calls me every year about this time and says, max out mine and my wife's IRA. By the way, how are you?
'Tis the season to move money. La 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 la.
Exactly. It's awesome. Just wait for that call.
I love getting those commissions. La 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 la.
Yep. And so, guys, that's it. Those are the things, those are the few vocabulary words that you guys will need from the SIE all the way through all the tests that you plan on taking and the fields, and will help your clients.
Simple concepts on taxes. 15 pages put into like 3 phrases. Guys, you just got chapters of information in most LEMs in just a matter of about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. That's all the concept you need to know to go pass the exam on that topic. That's it. It's so simplified. Keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it moving forward. Don't give up, don't quit, don't stop. Have the faith. And that's pretty much the wrap tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to have sessions tomorrow. We'll be back for the Studying Brew, same bat time, same bat channel. Brandy's going to go over 6 different exams, 6 different questions, 6 answers. We're going to break them down like Charlie Brown, show you a little bit of content in there.
Yeah.
Show you some technique, show you some positive mental attitude. It's going to be great, but none of it can happen if you don't stay safe out there. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PM, everybody have a happy, happy, happy good night.
Thank you all for being on. We so super appreciate you. Keep your content simple. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.